Who can believe that it's been so long since the Trinity Tuesday group met in person? We've come together today, masked and shouting against the traffic noise, and as always, very delighted to see one another. This tree focuses us all. An eastern cedar tree planted 40 plus years ago when this beautiful garden and beautiful grand old church building first were completed. It was recently pruned, and while it did in fact open the courtyard to the lovely sky and the exhausting sun, it's sort of a little lopsided now, though no doubt it's healthier. We read a Taoist reading and ponder the tree on paper, looking at the pictogram for tree, Mu. We ponder the tree on paper, its strength and stability, its resiliency in the face of storms. But the truth is, a storm can get it, though. Yeah, that's the truth. Someday one will. I ponder endings, as it seems I always do. It's the tree that Colleen always says, sighing, "I remember when that tree was planted. Everything has changed." A tree. Oh, this one has been the witness, perhaps, to some sort of softer violence of word or deed. But mostly this tree has lived a sheltered life, surrounded by friends, other plants, and flowers. It's led a sheltered life, and it's sheltered in return. This one was never a lynching tree. And thus it helps to anchor this place for all of us as holy ground. It represents all the elements, life and death, eternally growing and changing, that it allows and makes possible the growth of other smaller and unique life forms full of beauty themselves, inspires me and reminds me to strive to be my best tiny self. I often think that perhaps we will not survive this time as a nation, as a church, or I as an individual. But I ponder all the tiny plants, the tiny cedar seedlings at the base of our old and familiar friend. I try to absorb the pathos of my final years, absorbing just as does the giant cedar, freely, patiently, content to lean into the wind and the storms and the inevitable breakage, trusting in the little babies to carry on with all the new growth.